Oh, are we live?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live today. We are live again today. Why do I feel like this room is so much clearer than the other room? Like the visuals and everything. Like I can see myself so much.
I think it's also because of the framing, as in you are definitely closer in the camera.
Oh, okay.
Correct. And so if you notice, usually in that room you are lower,
right?
and a bit
Yeah,
further.
maybe
But
that's
this one is,
why.
yeah, it does look better. I feel
It looks, it's more defined.
Yeah.
I think it's the lighting as well.
Correct.
The extra bulb. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live. For those who are here, I hope everyone's having a great day. All right, today, this is especially for the PSLE parents and students. All right, so maybe if you're having if you're in primary 5 this year, or if you are taking PSLE this year, this is live for you. All right, we will be going through some of the crash courses, and later we will be doing a live on ebooks as well. So if this sounds like something you need, something you would like, definitely do stay on and watch. Okay. I understand that PSLE is an incredibly stressful period of time, and that some parents and students are just having it just super rough right now. Okay, that's completely understandable, and we are there to help. Okay, so I just want to check in that everyone's feeling fine during this PSLE season. Okay, um, sometimes I understand that parents do feel like their children are struggling to perform under time pressure, or that they have been receiving poor comments like that their story doesn't flow, or they have a weak climax. Hi, Yu Hao? Yu Hao. I don't know which like pronunciation you would prefer. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the live. Alright, how are you doing? Are you in primary 5 or primary 6 this year? Alright, so definitely while we wait for Rihao to reply, right? Yeah, so parents, I understand that it's super stressful, especially when you have been receiving comments or seeing like, oh, primary tree. Oh, okay, okay. Primary tree, so yeah, it's good to prepare early. We have crash courses for primary tree as well. We also have suitable ebooks for you. All right. Is there anything that you're struggling with in English at the moment that we can help with? Okay. We will be doing the PSLE composition later. I understand that that's not really the compo type that you're looking at, but it's also a great way to look at vocab. It's a great way to look at structure. Okay, so definitely, if you're struggling a bit with composition, or you just want that bit of boost, how you could just join our live. All right, we are having a live ebooks. Okay, you're looking at ebooks. Okay, we will be going through the ebooks later on. All right. I think we'll be starting the ebook live at around like 4 ish.
Mhm.
4, yeah. Hi Bree, I need some vocab. Ooh, okay, vocab is something that we prioritize in actually every one of the products that we make, and as well as in our live sessions. Okay, so we speak about vocab in our live sessions. We also speak about vocab in our crash courses. Okay, so Bree, could I just check which grade are you in? Which year are you in? Like,
Probably as well. We're going through a paper later at 5:30. So at least he can join if he
okay.
wants to do vocab live.
Oh, okay, okay. We will be
Otherwise, ebook also we have.
we will be doing vocab live as well. In composition later at 4 and 5:30 we'll have which paper?
Paper 2.
Paper 2. Yes, paper 2. What am I doing? Oh, you're in primary 5, Brie. Okay, I understand. I understand the stress. I understand. Now that you tell me you're primary 5, I understand. What are you doing? Right now we are going to be going through the crash courses that we have. Okay, so we have quite an amount of crash courses prepped in June. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys the layout, and then later on, we will be doing around 4. We will be doing some ebook promotion, so you guys can see our some products that we have. Okay, today the ebook that we'll be going through is again the primary 6 and primary and O level 1. So we have, it's both model compositions. Okay, and it's great, Bree, especially if you are struggling with vocab. Okay, we have tailored vocab lists inside these 2 ebooks that I'm going to be talking about. But if you prefer something that is with a tutor teaching you instead of self-study session, you can also join our crash courses. Okay, primary 6, yes, the stress is completely valid at this moment of time, I understand. All right, so the crash course might be best for you. Okay, so because our teachers will be there to help. Okay, but definitely if you feel like you just need some extra resources, we have the ebook as well. Yeah, okay, so just struggling with vocab, right? Just vocab, or is there anything else? Because it is completely understandable. It is completely understandable, and I feel like it's at this moment of time, it's very very important consolidation composition. Okay, I can help with that. I can help with that. Okay, we will be going through a P6 composition later on. Okay, and then is there any comments that you have gotten very like
Your 4 p.m. live, right?
4 p.m.
Will be the compo, right?
Yes, 4 p.m. live will be on the composition, so we will be able to help you. Is there any particular comments that you've gotten from teachers? Okay, and maybe the primary 2, not the primary 2, the
Breakdowns.
paper 2, fill in the blank with a word. We'll be doing that
Yeah,
5:30.
correct, later.
Okay,
Comprehension.
so all our lives today are relevant to you, Bree. All our lives are relevant to you. Okay, so the live that we will be doing right now, the current one that we are on, we will be going through the crash courses. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, if you're wondering if there's anything you could do to help pull up your grades as well in the what do you call that, June holidays, you could join our crash course. Okay, but also if you're just looking for a bit of a boost right now in the moment, we have our ebooks as well. Okay, and I will be personally going through the some compositions with you. Okay, so you can maybe drop into the live at 4 if depending on what you need, and then you can let me know some of the comments you've been getting from teachers. Okay, and then we can work through it together. Okay, yeah, and then you can tell me, and then I will use the composition that we're going through as an example, and then we can break things down together. Okay, and then maybe if any of your friends are having the same issues, or you anyone with issues in composition, you can just bring them into the live. We will break down the comments that you have been getting bit by bit and work it through. Okay, PSLE, we get it, we get the stress. All right, okay, Bree, sounds good. All right, you have yeah, so that's definitely that's what we're going to be going through. So right now, the crash courses, we have all the way from PSLE all the way to primary 1. Okay, so all these crash courses are available, and also the crash courses can be for oral, can be for composition. Okay, we have quite like an amount of crash courses. Yes, thank you, I'll join at 4. All right, I'll see you at 4 then. All right, so yeah, definitely you have, if you're looking for more of a composition booster, that will be at, like I told Bree, it will be at 4. Okay, but if you're still looking for ebooks, that would also be at 4. But again, if you're looking for more practice with like maybe like fill in the blanks or stuff like that, that will be at 5:30. Okay, which teacher would that be?
5:30 I will be.
Oh, it'll be teacher Mitsuko. All right, so yeah, definitely. Okay, let's begin. All right, so again, parents and students, it's very common that you are, or it's incredibly valid that you guys are feeling stressed right now, and especially for parents, if your child is coming home and receiving comments like weak climax, story doesn't flow, or actually the worst comment to get is that your child is going off topic. Those are all very common comments to see, and there are definitely ways to work around it. Okay, there are definitely ways that we can break it down and help your child out of the situation. Okay, so definitely stay on this live with me if you have heard any of these comments before. Okay, because I'm about to give you a solution that is recognized by both teachers and parents, and we do have teacher and we do have parent testimonials for you guys to see. Okay, we have result slips for you. We have results for you guys to see as well, statistics. Okay, if that's what you guys need. All right. Also, we will also be giving you guys the chance to meet some of our teachers over here. Okay. So I know that some parents have been thinking maybe they want to join us or write us a work, but I don't know what our teachers are like. So this is a great chance for them to actually meet the teachers and see who might be teaching their child, and maybe find someone that is more suitable for the needs of their own children. Okay, so definitely we'll be doing all of that in this live. It is jam packed with content today, so definitely stay with me. All right. Okay, so we have a brochure over here. You guys can see it right above me over here. Okay, so it's to help everyone have a better understanding. Okay, you guys can see that we have classes all the way from primary 1 to primary 5 and 6. Okay, we have June holiday composition, and we also have oral thematic. Okay, so it's depending on what you need. It's completely dependent on what you need. Okay, you don't have to go for all. It's just dependent on what you need. Okay, you guys can take a look over here. Okay, well, let's go through them one by one. All right, so I'm going to start with the primary 5 and 6 one, okay, because I understand the parents are really stressed, okay. Now, of course, if there are students in primary 3, 4, primary 1, and 2 who need the extra support, we have classes for you as well, so don't worry about that, okay. For this primary 5 and 6, okay, it is great for students who really need that boost within the last few months before PSLE, okay. So, like I mentioned before, understand the stress, all right, really understand the stress, okay. This one is really great for students who really need that boost within the last few months before PSLE. Okay, it is a highly recommended 5-day holiday program, and it's especially designed for our primary 5 and 6 students preparing for the PSLE English exam. Okay, so these are guided by our expert trained teachers, and our teachers will guide your child through the essential skills and strategies to tackle the PSLE composition questions effectively. Okay, so if you're having any issues with breaking down questions, your child is having any issues with breaking down questions, answering the questions in a way that a teacher approved, okay, this is definitely something for you, okay, because these are all things that we're going to be going through. All right, now to break it down, what your child will gain, your child will be able to unpack challenging PSLE composition questions with us. Our teachers will be teaching your child how to effectively analyze the PSLE composition questions, ensuring they understand exactly what is required to craft compelling compositions and get those content marks. Okay, so if your child is losing those content marks for some unknown reason, okay, this might be a good chance for us to get to know what's going on and actually help them out of this situation. All right, we will also be teaching and equipping your child with PSLE composition planning skills. Okay, these are all things that we want to give your child a strong foundation in, especially at this moment of time. We are a few months away from PSLE. Parents are stressed, even teachers are stressed, and most of all, your child is stressed. Okay, we understand that. Okay, we want to equip your child with effective planning techniques for story retention and to create well-structured compositions. Okay, actually, for this, we actually have our very own writers at work technique. Okay, we speak about that very often, but only because of how effective it actually is. Okay, to tell you guys a bit more, it is a technique that helps students to fight creative blocks, and for students who struggle to plan, okay, it helps them to keep on track and deliver a composition that actually gets the grades that they want and astounds their teacher. Okay, so if you're interested in hearing more about this, or if your child is struggling with creativity in their compositions, or get really stressed when they're actually sitting for the exam and they're just not able to perform as well as you think they could, okay, this is definitely for you. Okay, we will be going through it in a bit. All right, so definitely you don't have to purchase anything to hear this bit of notes. Okay, just stay with me. All right, in the meantime, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels across all platforms. Okay, we are currently on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Xiaohongshu, and LinkedIn. Okay, so all of these we are there on all these platforms. Okay, so definitely follow us to get updates on these programs as well as to hear the latest educational content we have prepared. Okay, so yeah, let's carry on. Okay, now for those that just arrived, I'm currently sharing what students will gain from our June PSLE composition writing crash course. Okay, now all of this information can be found on our website. You can comment on WhatsApp us you have any questions. Okay, so let's get back on to what we're gonna be providing your child, because that's not all. All right, writing techniques and language mechanics. Okay, we want to enhance your child's writing style and sentence structure using key grammar tips and creative writing techniques. Okay, so it's like how to write a captivating quote. So we don't want your child to go into the exam and start with a one day I woke up, or today the sun was shining. Okay, we want something more sophisticated. We want something that is more unique. Okay, um, yeah, definitely. And we will be equipping them with those PSLE exam strategies that maybe you have been struggling to guide them with, and it's completely understandable. Okay, our teachers have seen so many sessions of PSLE. They know exactly what a child needs to do well when it comes to strategies. They know what certain students are lacking in, and that's completely understandable. Okay, we will guide your child to mastering exam smart strategies such as time management and adaptation skills to tackle composition questions. Okay, these are all things that we're going to be supporting them with. Okay, so definitely if you feel like your child is struggling with any of this, just let us know. Sign up for the crash course, and yeah, we'll do our best to help you. All right, so other than this, we also help your child to expand their vocab bank. Okay, this is something that's super important, and I think I spoke about that to Bree just now, or someone who came into the live. Okay, um vocab is something that is so important, and sometimes students struggle with it, and that's okay. Okay, so what happens is that with this with vocab, it can either make or break your composition. What do I mean by this? Okay, now when it comes to vocab, if you're misusing certain words, you are risking losing those marks, because teachers feel that you are not accurately using these phrases, and at the same time you are also going to make them feel like you're not well prepared. Okay, but however, if you are able to use these phrases and vocab in a way that is accurate, in a way that is engaging, teachers will feel that you are very well prepped, you are very informative. Okay, and that definitely works in your benefit. Okay, so definitely vocab is something that we really want to focus on. In all of our crash courses, there will be that bit of vocab in all our crash courses, so don't worry for students who are struggling. Okay, um, in this particular crash course, we will help our students to master 50 plus PSLE composition phrases. So 50 plus is quite a lot. Okay, we want to give it that amount to them. We want to help them to elevate their writing and add depth, variety to the compositions with this 50 plus phrases. Okay, we will also be giving them exclusive PSLE model compositions. Okay, we want them to gain their edge, and sometimes it's so good for students to be able to see exactly what is required for them in order to get these grades. Okay, so this is where the model compositions come in really, really handy. Okay, we will be giving students 15 brand new exclusive model compositions, and this is something that's only available in this crash course. Okay, however, if students do feel like at any point of time that they do want some extra resources, we always have our ebooks available. Okay, you can always search our Writers at Work Podia and go to our Podia website and take a look at the available ebooks. Okay, we have a huge variety. We have for oral exams with editing, we have composition, we have a huge amount. Okay, there are even bundle sales for those who are looking for something with more value. Okay, that is all available on Podia. Okay, you guys can take a look at any moment of time. Okay, bonus offer for this crash course. We have a bonus offer. Okay, students will receive a set of past year PSLE exam questions and top school PSLE composition questions. Okay, we will be sharing the most commonly tested topics to our students. Okay, it is so important that students are able to identify patterns, and that if they are not able to do so, seek help from a tutor or someone who does understand. Okay, now when I say patterns, I mean identifying certain teams that are more likely to come out than others. Okay, now why is this so valuable? Okay, there is nothing better than a student entering the exam and realizing that the question is something that they have prepared for. There's literally nothing better than that. Okay, and exactly what this pattern and trend analysis does is that it helps students to practice for something that is more likely to come out, to be more efficient in their studies in this way. All right, we don't want them to be studying for almost everything and none of that comes out. Okay, we don't want that. We really don't want that. Okay, so definitely our teachers have that experience of PSLE. They have guided students through different seasons of PSLE, so they know what is more likely to come out, and we will be assisting your child with making sure they're practicing for relevant topics or topics that are more likely to come out. All right. So yeah, definitely if that is something that you would like for your child, or if you're a student and you would like for yourself, this course is for you. All right. And I understand that some people might be thinking, okay, this is just a holiday writing practice. And for parents, how much value could we bring to your child's progress in just 5 days? Okay, so I understand that, but I do want to highlight that this is not just a practice, this is a full blown exam focused strategy workshop. Okay, it is packed and designed to focus on exam strategy and little details that could really change the direction in which your child is going academically. Okay, so it's designed to turn average writers into confident exam ready storytellers, and it's so good for students who are struggling to prepare for PSLE English and who maybe just don't know where to start. Okay, because we really are that few months away from PSLE, so it's absolutely vital that students have that bit of comprehensive notes, that bit of consolidation in their studies at the moment. It's so important right now. Okay, but to show you guys that we could add value to your child's academic progress within this 5 days, we could change the direction in which your child's going. I'm going to show you some of the class prep our teachers do for this combo classes, so that you can also take the chance to understand what your child will be taught in these 5 days. All right, so you guys can see the right in the banner above me. All right. Okay, these are our class prep. Okay, so you can see over here that our teachers actually make very elaborate lesson plans. Okay, they're not just going to the lessons and just teaching whatever comes to mind. That's not it. Okay, our teachers do make these elaborate lesson plans in hopes of filling our lessons with much content as possible. Okay, our teachers really do love to see our students succeed, and that is something that is reflected through testimonials and results. Okay, I'll be showing all of them to you. Okay, there is really no better proof than student results when it comes to good teaching. Okay, so definitely for parents who are interested in this, stay tuned to hear some student parent testimonials and for a chance to meet some of the teachers here at Writers at Work. All right. Now, for those who just joined, welcome. I'm Jia, and I'm currently going through some of the latest crash courses and holiday programs in June. Okay, so definitely do stay and let me know if you have any questions. All right, we have the service button below. You can see that it is orange with a white little arrow, and our WhatsApp number above. It's 84049281. Okay, you can always drop us a message. We have a whole team ready to answer your questions. Okay, so definitely if you have any questions, just hit us. All right. Okay, so at this point, I understand that parents might also be wondering, all this said, how are their teachers? Okay, valid? I agree. Okay, a good program really does not add value if a teacher cannot deliver. Okay, and that's understandable. Okay, at Writers at Work, we do want to highlight that our team is made up of seasoned educators who know the PSLE format inside out and who mark composition scripts daily. Okay, they've helped many PSLE students to achieve the grades they want and achieve solid AL1s. Okay, they have seen many seasons of PSLE. They know what they're doing. Okay, for this, to for those who are still in doubt, I would like to invite some of the teachers here at Writers at Work onto the screen today so that you guys can take a chance to meet some of them. All right, could we have one of the teachers?
Not playing audio.
Mm.
No sound effect. Audio settings.
It's okay. I think we skip that first, and then I will go through something else. Then you can maybe.
Let me try and fix this here now. You can talk to them. Try to talk to them. Yes. So now.
Okay. Okay.
Is it from yours? Oh no, it's from your slides, right?
That sound was from mine.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I think now. Oh,
Okay,
there we
so
go.
good. I'm gonna play it again.
All right. All right.
And engaging students, I typically like to engage them by getting them to be involved in their own learning. So usually that could involve like getting them to come up onto the whiteboard,
draw things that we're learning in class or follow up with dialogue, for example, that I'll challenge them to reply to. Occasionally, I like to bring in prompts that might prompt their interest and engage them in their own learning. I really, really hope that my students take away this better appreciation for how English is such a strong tool for self-expression, for imagination, to communicate one's thoughts and feelings in order to engage perhaps a sense of friendship with the people around them, and also to engage one's imagination in writing creatively, not only just creative writing, like not only just stories, but also in the way you express your ideas. How do I encourage a love of learning English? Again, it's all about, I think, for me, engaging one's imagination, thoughts and feelings to other people. That's when that aspect of like personalization comes into it. So yeah.
All right, okay. So for those who are waiting to hear more about the story banking techniques, I will now be going through this fantastic technique that has helped students to solve issues with planning, like of creativity. Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, sorry for the mic issue. Okay, but for those who are waiting to hear more about the story banking techniques, thank you so much for staying tuned. Okay, I will now be going through this fantastic technique that has helped students to solve issues with planning, lack of creativity, over and under usage of writing techniques, and much, much more. All right, now the gist of story banking. I do want to highlight before that this is not regurgitating content, okay? Because that might be one of the first instincts that people have. They hear it and they're like, is this regurgitating content? We don't want our child to do that, okay? It is not, okay? It is very, very different from that, okay? Now, the gist of story banking is trying, refining, and remembering, okay? Now, what do I mean by this? Okay, students are led to write and refine or to find a piece of writing that is approved by a teacher, okay? So a piece of writing that will definitely get them great marks and to learn to replicate that piece of writing, okay? Stay with me, I'm not saying regurgitate, okay? Okay, now Writers at Work advocates for this technique because it allows students to enter the exam with a piece that will secure them high grades, okay? And it helps them to remove any further stress from exam jitters or creative blocks in the exam hall, all right? But the thing about this technique is that it's not regurgitating content, it's about adapting content, okay? That's what's different, okay? Regurgitating content can only bring students so far, but the ability to adapt content as we teach our students can allow them to jump their grades in ways they cannot imagine, okay? So it's about taking a piece that they know super well and that they are so confident in and going to the exam and adapting it according to the question and getting the grades that they want, all right? So that confidence is what is going to help them to remove those exam jitters and those refined vocab that has been approved by the teachers is what is going to get them the language and content marks that they need, all right? Okay, but how easy is this technique? That's a very valid question, okay? My answer would be it's both easy and hard, all right? While this technique does make performing in exam situations easier, it is so important for students to learn how to adapt their stories instead of regurgitating content, okay? That's why we really emphasize our compo crash courses because they not only show new and effective techniques to the students, but they also teach them how to use these techniques effectively, okay? So this is definitely something that we always advocate for, something that we definitely want our students to at least try out, okay? All right. Now, for students who are in primary 5 to 6, okay, we are going on to the next crash course. This crash course is for students who are struggling with English paper 2 or oral, okay? We offer the English paper 2 plus oral crash course, so it's a mix, okay? Plus the oral thematic set A and set B crash course. Okay, set A and set B are different. Okay, I do want to highlight that. Okay, now for the English paper 2 plus oral crash courses, students will have the chance to build confidence in oral communication and structured responses. Okay, so definitely structure is something that is so important. It really can heighten that impact of the content that the students are trying to deliver, okay? And when it comes to oral communication, we do want them to become fluent, to become very confident when they're speaking and expressing themselves, okay? These are all things that we want to help them with, okay? Then we also have the master crucial grammar rules and techniques aspect of this crash course. We want to help students to master grammar rules because it is the foundation of whatever they're about to do, all right? Whether it is oral or whether it is composition, okay, it is something that is truly the basis, okay? It doesn't matter if you have really good structure or let's say you have really strong content, okay? It doesn't matter because if your grammar is not correct, if it is falling through, nothing's gonna work, all right? So definitely that is something that we want to focus on. Okay. We also want to help students to improve comprehension, answering skills for closed and open-ended questions. Okay, that is something that is super important and something very specific that some students struggle with. Okay, and that's completely understandable. Okay, we also want to help them to learn synthesis and transformation rules and avoid common mistakes. Okay, synthesis and transformations is something that some students love and some students hate. Okay, that is something we notice from our TikTok classes. Okay, it is something that is understandable. It is so normal for students to have a favorite part of their paper and a part of the paper that they just detest. Okay, it's completely normal. However, it is so important for students to be able to answer all the different sections of a paper. Okay, preferences are not really going to bring students that much further. Okay, it's okay to have them, but we want to make sure that our students are well equipped to answer all the questions in a paper. All right. Okay, now the automatic set A crash course. Okay, I do want to highlight set A and set B are similar in what we go through in the what we're trying to help students to improve. Okay, however, as you guys can see over here, there is that yellow box over here. You guys should be able to see it above me. Okay, those are the teams that we're going through. Okay, and in set A and set B, these teams are different. Okay, so that is depending on what you would prefer your child learn. All right, so definitely that is the difference. Okay, now to highlight the oral thematic set A crash course, students will get the chance to master key oral exam teams. So again, it's about the pattern. Okay, we want to make sure that students are aware that there is a certain pattern when it comes to PSLE. Some teams come out more than others, and it's so important for them to study those common themes. Okay, we want them to master these common themes. Okay, we will dive deep into the more popular PSLE oral exam themes with our students, and each day students will explore these themes and learn how to present and discuss them confidently. Okay, so definitely that is something that we want to focus on. We want to focus on that confidence. We want to focus on that fluency. Okay, also important. All right. Effective oral answering techniques. We want to teach your child a proven method to structure their oral responses and ensure clear, coherent, and well organized answers. Again, how you express yourself when it comes to an oral exam, it is so important. Okay, delivery and confidence is something that can really make or break. Okay, because when you are delivering your composition, if you're constantly muttering or if you're constantly stuttering, okay, it is a lot harder for the teacher to understand what you're saying. Okay, and it's a lot harder to be engaging. However, for students who are so confident, who can express everything they need to in one go, who are fluent in whatever they're trying to say, it is definitely something that can bring up those engagement levels and something that can make the teacher feel like, oh wow, you really practice a lot, you deserve these grades. Okay, so definitely we want to help students to get those grades and achieve that kind of confidence when they're going into the exam. Okay, oral exam strategies, this is something that we also go through. Okay, I talk about this so often. Exam strategies is something that really can bring that so much more confidence to a child, and at the same time it can really improve the efficiency of them studying. Okay, now when it comes to oral exam strategies, we want to provide your child with strategies to help them navigate the exam, manage their time, and maximize their score. Okay, now, when it comes to time management, that is something that stays important no matter what exam you're going through. Okay, number one, you have to have efficiency. You need that time management when you're scheduling, when you're preparing for the exam. Okay, you need to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna do this amount today, and I'm gonna be effective with it. Okay, it's about scheduling your time, about making a good calendar for exam prep. Okay, and finally, when you're actually in the exam, time management is important there as well, because you need to pace yourself. You need to make sure that you're able to answer everything to the best of your ability, but at the same time finish the exam on time. Okay, because it doesn't matter how well you know the answers, it doesn't matter how detailed your answers are. Okay, if your answers don't get on the paper in time, you're not going to get the grades. All right, so definitely that is something we want to work on with students. All right. Okay, we will also be passing your child or students over 10 relevant reading articles. Okay, we really want to help them to stay on top of current and trending topics relevant to the PSLE or exam. This is something that can provide them with content to talk about during the exam, good examples when teachers ask them questions in the exam. Okay, so it's definitely something that can bring confidence And the thing about these reading articles that are so valuable is that they are all carefully selected by our teachers, all right? So definitely, if your child is struggling with content during the oral exam, this is something that you can consider, all right? Expand your vocab. Okay, again, we want to add over 50 essential oral exam phrases to your child's vocab bank. Okay, this is something that will really empower them to articulate their thoughts more effectively, because vocab can really paint a cleaner, more complete picture of whatever is being said. Okay, so vocab is something that stays so important not only now but maybe in their O level and in the future when they're working. Okay, so it's definitely a skill that has to be consistently kept up with. All right. And finally, we have the O level, the not the O level, the PSLE oral exam model response. Okay, so for this, we will give your child a clear idea of what a quality oral response looks like. Okay, now the thing about an oral response is that, and actually compositions as well, is that sometimes when teachers give comments, some students might struggle to actually identify and properly contextualize the problem or the comment that is given to them by the teacher. Okay, and that's completely understandable. Okay, so what we do to combat this, what we do to help these students, is that we show them a clear idea of what is expected of them, and we do that through a high quality oral response that we have looked through and vetted through ourselves. Okay, so it shows them what a specially designed model answer looks like, and for them to actually learn, annotate, and break it down, and finally do it themselves. Okay, so all of this I do want to highlight again are all available in the set B as well, but they will be done in different teams. Okay, I'll be moving on to set B very shortly, so you guys can have that comparison and choose the one that is most relevant to your child, or the one that you feel you help your child the most. All right. Okay. Again, I will move on to, okay, now we are at the oral thematic set B crash course. Okay, over here you can see that it's all very similar, but for those who just come in, I will go through it again so everyone can have an idea, a clear idea of what's going on. Okay, so if you missed out something, maybe your Wi-Fi lagged and you weren't able to hear something just now, I'm gonna go through it again, so really don't worry. All right, over here, this is the oral thematic set B crash course. You can see over here that the block is red, the red block over there. The teams are different from set A, okay? So your child won't be learning the same thing as in set A when it comes to teams, okay? But otherwise, the things that we're trying to get them to master, such as oral exam teams, answering techniques, strategies, they will all be the same, okay? We're just teaching them with different teams, all right? Okay, so let's take a look at this together, all right? We will help students to master key oral exam teams, and we'll bring them and dive deep to the most important PSLE oral exam teams. So each day, students will explore these teams and learn how to present and discuss them confidently, okay? Like I mentioned before, teams are something that can truly bring so much more confidence to a child when they're going in for the exam. Because by mastering common teams, your child, they are more prepared for the exam. They are studying something that is more likely to come out. Okay, it's effective learning. This is something that we definitely want to help them with. Okay, but we also understand that some parents and students, they struggle with identifying common themes that will all definitely come out during the PSLE exam, and that's why we're here to help. Okay, our teachers have worked on PSLE for so long. They mark scripts daily. They teach PSLE students all the time. Okay, they have been through so many sessions of PSLE. They understand what is required. They know what common themes are there. Okay, and they will actually deliver these themes to students and help them to get the necessary practice they need. All right. Also, for this crash course, we will be helping students to have effective oral answering techniques. Okay, we want to teach your child a proven method to structure their oral responses. This is something that will ensure your child is able to give clear, coherent, and well-organized answers. Again, the way you deliver your answers, the way you communicate during an oral exam is something that can really change the direction of your grades. Okay, can you imagine if someone is muttering, stuttering throughout the entire exam compared to someone who is fluent, someone who is confident? Okay, the teacher will definitely feel more inclined to reward the child with those grades. Okay, so definitely this is something we want to work on with your child, and we can provide the guidance that your child needs in that aspect. All right. Oral exam strategies, okay, we have that as well. We want to provide your child with strategies that will help them navigate the exam, manage your time, and your score, okay? So with time management, like I mentioned before, this is something that stays important no matter what exam you're doing and no matter which aspect of the exam, all right? Now, you will need time management when prepping for the exam, okay? That is something that is definitely the case, okay? You still want your child to have a bit of work-life balance. You don't want them to burn out right before the exam. That is one of the last things we want, okay? However, at the same time, we want them to have effective learning. So definitely time management is something that we will definitely focus on, okay? Time management is also so important when it comes to sitting the exam itself, okay? It's not just about finishing the prep, and the exam is a whole other thing, okay? It's similar in time management because your child will be expected to pace themselves and finish the paper on time, okay? Like I mentioned before, no matter how good your answer is, no matter how good your content is, if you're not able to put the answer down on the paper on time, you're not going to get the grades, okay? It's just how it works, unfortunately. All right, so definitely that is something that we will focus on. Okay, over 10 relevant reading articles. Okay, we want to help your child to also stay current with trending and relevant topics in the PSLE oral exam. Okay, so we will do so with our carefully selected reading articles and actually help them to look through these articles and stay on top of the content that you need. Okay, this aspect of the crash course will also help students to grow their content banks so that they have more things to talk about during the oral exam. In case the teacher were to ask them, okay, give me an example, something like that, they will have something to talk about. All right. Also, expand your vocab. Okay, just like the set A, we want to add over 50 essential PSLE oral exam phrases to your child's vocab bank. Okay, again, vocab can truly make or break your work, okay, whether it be composition, whether it be oral exam. Okay, when you're using topic specific language, it can make you sound truly so informative and engaging. Your teacher will feel like you deserve this grades, you clearly studied, okay, as compared to someone who's using very rudimentary language or someone who's misusing certain vocab. Okay, at that moment of time, your teacher will feel that you are just trying, but at the same time, you have not done the relevant practice. Okay, you have not studied for the exam, and you're not going to definitely get the grades that you want. All right, so again, that's something to be so careful about. Exclusive PSLE oral exam model responses. Okay, we want to give your child a clear idea of what high quality oral responses look like, especially with designed model answers. Okay, so now students might struggle with hearing comments. I know for a fact that as a student I did as well. It is one thing to understand that your teacher is giving you comments, and another thing to actually understand and contextualize these comments. Okay, so now that my teachers tell me that I need to improve on this, how does she want me to improve on this? Okay, it is something that is so important and something that can be solved with these model compositions. Okay, you can always purchase model compositions and work on them yourself from our ebook. Okay, those are all possible, but it's so great to have a model composition so that students can actually annotate with a highlighter or a pen and actually have a certain structure to work with and actually something to base their own answers off when they're going to the exam. So that is something that we always recommend. All right. Okay, now, before I share more about the classes for other levels, I do want to show everyone the promised parent and student testimonials and student results. Okay, like I mentioned before, there's really no better proof of effective teaching and education than student results, success stories, and testimonials. Okay, as you can see here, these are some results our students obtained after our classes. Okay, so if you take a look right here, it's right above me. We have Townham Primary School and Alexandra Primary School. Okay, you can see our students in both achieved full marks, and that's something that we're so proud of. Okay, they achieved full marks after taking our classes, and that is something that we will always brag about. Okay, so definitely you guys can take a look. But if you prefer some statistics, I also got you covered, okay? So now Fridays at Work is one of the top English tuition centers in Singapore, okay? I'm not just saying that, I'm not just bragging, okay? Because 90% of our PSLE cohort have since achieved AL 1 to 4, and 90% of our secondary school cohort 3 grades of improvement. So there is definitely that jump, and we're so proud of that, okay? As an established tuition center since 2012, parents and students can rest assured that we have all the resources needed for the success you desire, okay? So English is a communicative skill, and it's something that not only impacts exam results, but also the way we present ourselves every stage of life, okay? And that is something we understand as teachers and staff of Writers at Work, and that's why it's something that we're so deeply passionate about and we want to help your child with, all right? Okay, now for reference, I will also be playing a parent testimonial, so do let me know in the meantime if you have any questions. Yes.
Writers at Work has an effective method of teaching, which helps my son to understand the concept and able to apply to his conversational writing. His teaching is also very encouraging and engaging, which has helped him boost his confidence and his interest in the subject. Before I started taking classes here, he used to be laboratories and seemingly taking no interest in this subject. Now he's really practicing his writing, his vocabulary, and his structuring. Ever since he joined Writers at Work, he has become an independent writer, and whenever he needs help, the teachers will be there for him and they will gladly help him. I can see improvement in terms of speed of writing because there's a lot of drill.
Could we also play the other one?
Yeah.
Mm.
I do not have that parent in the queue.
It's okay.
You can, however, replace it with another video.
No, it's
but
alright.
not student testimonial.
Oh, we have that?
Can.
Okay.
In life are free. Truth be told, I adapted this essay to answer every single English paper 1 exam throughout secondary 3 and 4. Hi, I'm Ramin Zhu. I was the choir's head of events and publicity in Nanhua High School before going to Victoria Junior College. Currently, I'm pursuing an accountancy degree in SMU because I believe that after mastering the might of the pen, it is now time for me to learn how to use numbers to tell stories of great companies or even countries. My mom first enrolled me when I was P5. I was initially resigned to fate when I first showed up to my lesson at Writers at Work, thinking that it was going to be like the countless other tuition classes I had attended thus far. However, I found myself singing a different tune after the first few lessons and ended up studying here for 6 years until I graduated from secondary school. My favorite lesson is the essay lesson titled Best Things in Life Are Free. Truth be told, I adapted this essay to answer every single English paper 1 exam throughout secondary 3 and 4. It taught me how to analyze situations critically and adapt my knowledge to solve problems. I also really like the essence of this essay as it reminds me that there is so much more to life than simply pursuing what society deems important. I studied in Writers at Work for 6 years because of one teacher and one teacher alone, Teacher James. I have never met any other teacher who always goes the extra mile to make every lesson so fun and engaging like the way she does. I still remember a period of time when she taught me individually before lessons started every week because I really wanted to improve my comprehension. For as long as I've known her, she has always been someone I could count on to give me amazing advice, whether it is about how to improve my English marks academically or simply about life itself. Teacher James is truly one of the best role models I have in life. Yes, writing well helps us to express ourselves in words accurately, and this can help to reduce misunderstandings and conflicts between people that we interact with and work with. Writing well also helps us to speak well because we can craft a mental script in our heads before we talk to others. When it comes to presentations and making speeches, being able to write well increases our chances of delivering impactful presentations and speeches. It has made me an effective writer. I got an A1. It meant a lot to me. English has always been my forte, the one thing I know I can always count on. Getting anything less than an A1 would have been a huge blow to my confidence. It may seem like there isn't much use to excel in English compared to other subjects like math and science, but I've come to realize over the years that regardless of what we choose to do in the future, having a good grasp of the English language improves our chances of doing well in everything else. This is because all academic disciplines require us to use English to communicate, study, do presentations, and tackle exams. It feels very novel considering the fact that I used to study at Writers at Work. It has given me yet another perspective of how much thought and effort has to be put into every
the needs and personalities of students I meet for the first time, to thinking on my feet whenever curveballs are thrown at me, or simply presentation and leadership skills, I've learned and grown so much through my experiences as a teacher.
All right.
Like,
Thank you. All right. So over here, let's get back to what Writers at Work will be offering this June holidays. Okay. So we have spoken about what we offer primary 5 and primary 6 students, but don't worry, we also have crash courses for lower and mid primary students who are struggling to score in their exams. Okay. So it's completely understandable. And it's always good to start practicing, start small, start young before the primary 5 and 6 season, all right? So definitely, if anyone is interested in this, you guys can always find out more details in the website, okay? But we will be going through it right now, okay? Now, for students in primary 3 and primary 4, we currently offer the oral thematic crash course, okay? Now, for this, students can learn to confidently discuss oral exam themes. So your child will learn how to discuss, make a effective approach to structuring thoughtful and impactful responses with our oral answering techniques, okay? So this is definitely something we want to work on with our students, because it is something that is so important when it comes to communicating in a way that is fluent, okay? Communicating in a way that is engaging, okay? And this is something that is not only important right now in primary 6, but will be important in your O levels and in the future when you're joining the workforce, okay? So definitely something to consider. Right? Oral presentation strategies. Again, it's a lot about presentation here. We want to really focus on that. Okay, so we want to help your child organize their thoughts and improve the delivery with effective presentation strategies. Okay, now content might be your child's content might be super strong in oral exams, but there is a possibility that if they're not scoring, the reason could be that they're not organizing their ideas well enough. All right, the organization of ideas can increase or reduce the impact of whatever they're saying. Okay, so it's so important that we are making sure that they're organizing their ideas and their presentation in a way that is easy to understand and engaging at the same time. All right. When it comes to oral topics, this is something that we also really want to focus on, because we will be giving students over 10 reading articles based on trending or commonly tested oral topics. Okay, it is so important for students to be able to understand these common topics and prep for them accordingly. It also helps them to build up this content bank in their head so that they have enough examples or content to talk about when they're actually in the exam. Okay, so this 10 reading articles is definitely something that I would consider, definitely something that has an impact. All right, vocab building. We want to help students to expand their oral vocab with over 50 thematic phrases. Okay, so this is definitely something that is important because you can see it in almost every one of our courses. Okay, in our crash courses, we talk about in the TikTok lives as well as in our ebook lives. Okay, so definitely it is something that is important. For this particular crash course, we want to help students to expand their oral vocab with over 50 thematic phrases. Okay, so this is definitely something we want to work on. Vocab can make you more engaging. It can also make you sound more informative. Okay, but the misuse of vocab can also make you sound like you're trying a bit too hard, but without the required practice. Okay, so we want to be the former. We want to make sure that students are able to discuss things in a way that teachers feel that, oh, they have made an effort to practice, they are doing a lot of extra work at home and actually deserve this grades. Okay, that's the impression that we want teachers to have. All right, exclusive model responses. Okay, we want students to receive an especially designed oral exam model response to guide their preparation. Okay, some students do super well with a little basis to work on, and it is great for our students that they have this example to work with, especially when this example is something that a lot of our teachers have vetted through or looked through. Okay, so it's an exclusive model response. Okay, this is something that we really recommend. All right, otherwise students can also make some purchases on our Podia store. We have that for the oral as well as the composition. So you can always see the ebooks on Podia. We have quite a variety, okay? Or you could always stay to our next live. We do talk about the ebooks there. Okay, now the primary 1 and primary 2. Okay, for these students we offer both the oral writing and beginner oral crash course. Okay, so at primary 1 and 2, students are at the beginning of their primary school journey, so a good foundation is absolutely important. Okay, it is good for an academic foundation, and it's also great when it comes to cultivating a positive outlook towards the academics. Okay, when a student does well in primary 1 and 2, they will feel more inclined to study harder so that they're able to keep up and get those grades when they are in a higher level. Okay, so that is something that we definitely want for students who are just starting their academic journey. Okay, now to dive deeper into what is offered, okay, for the compo writing crash course, students will learn how to unpack composition questions. Okay, your child will learn to analyze composition questions, and we will help them to understand what is required in their writing and how to craft meaningful answers. Okay, so these are things that we're going to help them with, and we will also be helping them with lower primary school planning skills. Okay, we will guide your child to develop composition planning techniques and teach them how to structure their writing for clarity and flow. Again, clarity, and when it comes to planning, these are things that are so important. Okay, it's great to have a foundation in that, because writing is not something that just stops in primary 1 or primary 2. It is something that gets harder as students progress up. Okay, as they go to primary 3 and primary 4, you have to begin to do more and more writing. Writing becomes tougher, it becomes more complex, the questions become more complex. Okay, and then to the point when they're actually in university, when they're in O level and JC, writing just gets tougher and tougher. All right, so it's so important for students to have that solid, unwavering foundation when it comes to planning, when it comes to delivery, when it comes to structure. Okay, so this is definitely something that we're going to be focusing on. Okay, writing techniques and language mechanics. Okay, this is the foundation. Okay, through grammar focused lessons, we will help your child to strengthen their writing style, sentence structure, and overall language mechanics. Okay, now like I mentioned before, the thing about language mechanics and language in general is that no matter how good your content is, no matter how good your structure is, if you're not able to deliver with accurate language, everything else falls through. Right, that's why it's so important for students to have this foundation, especially at this age. Okay, we will definitely do our best to help your students on this part, so we definitely recommend this course. All right, now we also want students to master a vocab bank when they're at such a young age. We want to give them over 30 composition phrases. Okay, so this is more topic specific wording. Okay, we want to help your child to enhance their writing with rich vocab and help them to express ideas more clearly and creatively. Okay, again, it's a lot about expression. You will notice that as I continue on about composition writing and oral for primary 1 and 2, because expression is truly the basis of whatever writing, whatever oral exams that you might later have in O levels and later in PSLE, in JC, and in uni. Okay, so it's definitely something that we want young children to have a good foundation in. All right, now lastly, we want to help students to master 3 writers at work model compositions. Okay, so now your child will learn to craft engaging compositions by studying 3 unique writers at work model compositions exclusive to this holiday program. Okay, now I always tell students that it's so important to have a model composition to work with, because there are so many things you can do with a composition. I'm not telling you to just read. Okay, reading will only get you so far. I'm telling you to read intentionally. Okay, that is very different from just reading. Okay, it's not leisure reading. Reading intentionally, as I do in TikTok lives with some of the students, is to actually annotate with like a pen or a highlighter and actually see the structure. Okay, this is going to be how it is in this structure. Okay, we're going to learn, okay, they structure it this way, how you transition out from your introduction to your rising action, from your rising action to your climax. Okay, these are all things that students can note from a model composition. Okay, and the thing about model composition is that it's about a composition that has been done well or has gotten full marks. Okay, so you will be you can ensure that your child will be learning from the best when they are looking through the model composition, and they can take their time when it comes to annotation. There is no pressure like with other practices, so definitely it's something we would recommend. Okay, now oral crash course. Okay, this one is something that is super exciting. Okay, we also understand that when it comes to primary 1 and 2 students, they might have different priorities. Okay, students themselves, they might feel like they want to play. Okay, and it's okay, it's understandable. They might have a different attention span at that age. Okay, we understand that. We've all been primary 1 and 2s once. Okay, we understand that. Okay, now when it comes to this oral crash course, we want students to gain confidence in speaking. Okay, so we have created this 3-day interactive oral program. So it's especially designed for primary 1 and 2 students, and it's an adventure-based course. Okay, now students will be able to strengthen their oral communication, reading fluency, and vocab through storytelling and creative activities. So it's definitely something that not only piques their interest, but it delivers that academic progress that parents might be looking for at this stage. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna go through what the oral adventure might be. Okay, it is a story called Who Stole the Dragon's Egg? So it's a little bit like a mystery. Okay, your child will essentially be a young detective solving the mystery of a stolen dragon's egg while learning key oral communication skills. Okay, so again, it is quite a bit of an adventure that piques your interest but at the same time delivers academic progress. Okay, now on day 1, it's called the Friendly Fairy. Students will focus on pronunciation, articulation, and enunciation, and we will help your child to progress and speak clearly and accurately. Being able to enunciate and articulate yourself, it's something that is so important, okay? Because we will be more, students in general, people in general, we will always be more inclined to listen to someone who is able to express themselves clearly, someone who is able to speak clearly. Okay, so this is definitely something that students should have a good foundation in. All right, day 2 is the wise visit. Okay, we want to help students improve rhythm and fluency. Okay, we want to help your child speak with a smooth natural flow. Okay, so it's something about rhythm. Really want to make sure that they are speaking at the correct pace. Okay, it's something to have a good foundation in. It's a lot about expression. Okay, you can see from day 1 and day 2, this crash course really focuses on expression. Okay, and expression is something that requires a good foundation. Okay, now day 3, we have the Grumpy Goblin. Okay, we want to teach students to enhance the expressiveness, intonation, and emotion to bring speech to life with feeling and tone. Okay, so these are all things that are more towards the emotive side. Okay, we want to make sure that students are able to express themselves with emotion, to be engaging in such a way. Okay, because these are all things that are looked at, whether you're in your social, whether in the real world when you're working in your social life or in your academic life as well. So these are all things that are super important. Okay, now explicitly, your child will gain a mastery in oral communication. Okay, we'll teach them to speak clearly with confidence and proper tone. Okay, confidence is the main thing that we want to bring to students. Okay, and it is something that can be derived, can be picked up from getting a mastery or fluency in all the above skills. Right. We also want to help students to improve their reading fluency, to strengthen pronunciation and expressive reading. We also want to help students expand your vocab. It is so important that students are able to expand vocab at such a young age. They understand the importance of vocab and have that love to always improve that bank, to read more. Okay, and what better way to do that than to teach students via characters and emotions. Okay, so from this adventure-based stories, we are really in the optimal situation to help students to learn this vocab skill and to teach them to enhance their creativity. Okay, we want to teach them to use voice, to use facial expressions and gestures to tell engaging stories. Okay, so these are definitely all things that we want to help them with. Okay, and finally, which might be to most of the students' interest, is to solve the mystery. Okay, students will be able to follow clues each day to uncover who stole the dragon's egg. Okay, so definitely that is something that students will be interested in. Okay, now that we have gone through all the crash courses that we have, could we play a June holiday promo for everyone's reference?
Video ah.
Mm,
Any June holiday video?
yep.
Let's do this.
Let's go and ask the experts to share why this program is a perfect fit for your child. Let's start with our curriculum director. Hello, Agnes. Question: why should students join the June holiday program? We've carefully designed 7 exciting programs, each packed with engaging activities that make learning fun. For example, we have introduced a brand new stimulus analysis method and oral response structure to help students adjust to the new PSL format. And for
For Primary 1 and 2 students, we've created an amazing oral lesson based on Who Stole the Dragon's Egg. My team and I have worked really hard to ensure that every student from Primary 1 to Primary 6 get the best English learning experience possible.
Now let's head over to the admissions team. Now question, are you guys ready for registration and welcoming both children and parents?
We're all set from simple registrations to smooth lessons. We've got it all covered. Parents can relax knowing everything is taken care of and the kids will have a super comfy and fun learning environment. We've even printed all the notes already. We are so excited to get started.
Now let's go and see how the teachers are preparing. Hi Jar, sorry, I'd like to disturb you for a few seconds. We have a question for you. How prepared are you to teach the holiday programs and keep the students engaged?
Well, every lesson is carefully planned so no time gets wasted. I've just finished prepping one of the lessons, making sure every minute counts. I want to make sure that every child is actively learning, getting new skills, and always improving themselves. It's going to be so much fun.
Well, sounds like it's all going to be a blast. So if you're looking for a way to make your child's June holidays awesome, come join us here at Writers at Work. We will help them learn, grow, prepare for examinations, and have fun all month long. So sign up now.
Alright, so you can Alright, so you can definitely see that a lot of work has been going on behind the scenes when it comes to this June holiday program. There has been a lot of preparations, so we are now fully prepared to teach your child and give them the best experience with crash courses. Alright, so okay, now if you can't make it this June holidays, as you can see here in the QR code, okay, we also have upcoming crash courses arranged for future school holidays, so just drop us a follow. Okay, you can do so via the QR code, all right, and wait for updates on the holiday programs. Okay, so now currently we are available on Xiaohongshu, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, so definitely remember to subscribe and like our posts, all right. So remember, of course, that consistency is key in learning and that students will observe more effective learning from consistent classes, okay. Now, our classes and materials will also be different during different holiday seasons, so definitely don't be afraid about your child being put through the same class twice. Like if your child joined during March and would like to join again in June, you don't have to be worried that they're going to be doing something that is completely the same, okay? It's not going to be the case, all right? All right, again, teachers super important, so I would love to end off this with a bit of a video introducing one of our teachers here at Writers at Work, all right? So could we have teacher Xiaowei, please?
become as proficient in English as possible so that they my main goal is to have my students become as proficient in English as possible so that they may be confident in speaking their language to their advantage. Practice, and more practice. I think for most things in life, that's what we need. Personally, as a student, all I did was I read a lot, I paid attention in class, and I did my homework. Those three, if I think you do those three, you're pretty much fine.
All right. All right. All right, so this is especially for the parents and PSLE students, all right? So really would like to check in on everyone and make sure that everyone is doing fine. Okay, we really understand that PSLE is just a few months away and that everyone is super prone to panicking now. That's completely fine, all right? PSLE is it's a life-changing move, okay? It is, some students might be stressing, okay, what am I gonna do after PSLE, okay? I just want to say that for everyone who's stressing right now, it really gets easier, okay? It gets easier, and it is so important for students to be able to have that stress-free revision period, okay? It is so important that students are able to consolidate everything and go into an exam feeling confident about themselves, okay? So definitely if students are looking to have that booster in the last few holiday program season, We do have crash courses available, and you can always check that out on our website at any given time. All right. So we will be moving on really soon to our ebook live. Okay. So for students who are looking to for more of a self-study situation, we do have our ebooks for we have a lot of ebooks. So we have it for editing or for composition, we have it for oral exams. So students can always go there and take a look on Apodia and see if there's anything that they would like. All right, definitely do let us know if you have any questions. Okay, the WhatsApp link, the WhatsApp number is there. It's 8404-9281. Students can always drop us a message, parents can drop us a message, and we have a whole team waiting to help you. Okay, so definitely do let us know if you have any questions. We will do our best to help you. All right, but definitely students, don't fear. Here at Writers at Work, we have a whole team waiting to help. So while you're preparing for your PSLE exams, do let us know if there's anything we can help you with. Okay, and we will do our very best. All right, thank you. Bye.
The live is done, is it?
Mm.